Welcome, everyone, to the 14th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace. It's Friday, October 27th, 2017, and we're ready to begin another session with Caroline Keshe and perhaps hear from Mr. Keshe as well. And I think we're ready to begin. I'm your host, Rick Crammon, today, and we nearly had Caroline as host today as she was overjoyed to nearly be host, I hear. Are you there, Caroline?
You took it away, Rick. You just in the nick of a time. Your soul must have been calling, come in, come in.
We get everything in just-in-time delivery here for things, so yeah.
Yeah, because there was a pirate on the horizon, as we say. And that would have been me, but they were very cautious with me. Apparently, it's not so easy to be a co-host. You have to be very careful what buttons you use.
Yeah, gotta watch the buttons, all right.
No, it's nice to learn because if you're not involved or you never done it, and then they start at last minute explaining to you, I said, oh, okay, just give me one button, speaker on and speaker off. That's sufficient enough for me. But I'm glad you could join, and I will try to create some time that you can be comfortable. We have seen a lot of people passing a lot of information. They're working, they're gathering, they're communicating. So it's a very busy bee behavior in the background with the knowledge seekers, which is very good. It means they have started putting their shoulders on different tasks in their own experience. And very soon we will start receiving information when they arrive in the fields, when they start observing and estimating what can be done, how can it be done, and what extra help they need. So we are in the right path. I also noticed that a lot of people start using the new teachings and explanations of Mr. Keshe to work through the soul. And it is amazing how fast and how much knowledge is getting understood and be applied. Nobody is waiting or hesitating. And they straightway put the questions on the table to go into more depth if they haven't understood something. So I would like the knowledge seekers to come forward to ask questions if and what they have not understood that can be more explained on soul level to work to reach so many more souls which are at this moment or going to go in the near future in stress situations that we can support them. Does anyone have any questions, please? And in the meantime, we can wait till morning. Council members can come in and knowledge seekers, because I've been posting it out as like a last minute call. We start a public teaching, so people will start rolling in slowly. Does anyone have specific questions about the last teachings, about how to operate through the soul? Or we're going to stay very quiet as knowledge seekers tonight? If it stays quiet, then maybe I will open the door. I have noticed in the last 2 weeks for myself that even a flash of thought in like a wishful thinking it's not even being formulated like we used to work in the blueprint for peace, you know, to really to create it as a wish, but, you know, like a flash thought, like a wishful thought going through your head without standing still with it, that these kind of tiny little flashes start materializing and start appearing. And, you know, before you would never stand still, but through the last 2-3 weeks teaching, it starts opening my alertness that if you pay attention, a lot of things are already appearing in front of you without going through the effort of analyzing the wish, constructing the wish. But when you're working with the right intent, there are so many tiny little wishes which are already appearing for you out of nowhere. And they are very simple. You know, you want to move something and you remember you had a good crew to move that. And it just flashes through your head, you know, I would wish to have that team to work with. And then suddenly out of nowhere, they just pop up and they're there. They have the time, they're free, and they can do the job for what you wished for it to be done. So the wishes are appearing very fast. And it doesn't matter how small they are. And as I was explaining in my private teaching last Wednesday afternoon, there is no limit. You are unlimited in creating, to reach, and to achieve. Because if you're in such a capacity as a sun, and you call up on the strength of a sun, which is you, and then you start, let's say, to formulate the direction of your intent, to accumulate your fields, the questions were coming, you know, where can and how can we? And I said, you are unlimited, because the plants, the trees, the grasses, the animals, whatever is included in this planet as a soul and connected to us in its state of its field strength, you can reach. Because your strength is so enormous, it's just directing it with your intent. And instead of focusing on just one, why not including all who belongs to the one you want to direct your intent to? And you change the fields. Because if it's working through little ones and little wishes, as we have seen it coming forward from the person who was wishing for Australia, and then Paul from Togo, your wishes are unlimited. Your source is unlimited. And on top of that, the more you create, the more you receive, so you can even expand on that level. So you can include whatever is dear to you, but go into a bigger field working through your strength of understanding to reach whatever, wherever you want, or wherever your desire is going to. It's just your direction of your energy flow, and it reaches. You might not see immediate change, but give it some time. You will start hearing the first whispers and the first noticeable little things of information coming to you, that it has started the path of changing. It might take a few days, it might take a week, but usually within 2 weeks, 14 days, you already start sensing there is something changed. And this wave has gone through the foundation, and you can feel it. The level of understanding has changed among the knowledge seekers. A lot of you are changing direction of path, because now you know that you go and can go beyond the matter state. So I would like the knowledge seekers maybe to come and share, or the council members, in how far and where maybe they haven't understood, or maybe they are already applying it and seeing the first signs of it. Does anyone want to come and share something with us? Anybody on Facebook or in the live stream? Because I cannot see the hands going up. And we have a lot of people present. Any one of you have a personal experience? Or yes, in how far and where maybe they haven't understood, or maybe they are already applying it and seeing the first signs of it.
We have a hand up.
Does
Caroline?
anyone want to come and share something with us?
Many people may be just too shy and they don't want to brag.
We have a hand up from Chekao.
Hi, Rick. Hi, Caroline. This is Chao from Universal Council. And
Anybody on Facebook or in the live stream?
Can you hear us, Caroline? Hello?
Yes, I do, but I get a feedback of myself what I just said 2 minutes ago.
Oh, maybe you have to turn off the live stream or something there.
I haven't switched anything on, darling.
Okay.
Oh, can you help me? This is Chao.
Can you hear
Yes.
Caroline?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
You can hear me?
Yes. I have something to share from my own experience, and maybe I can share the screen. Hi, Rick. Would you please stop screen sharing?
That'll be Flint. And
Yeah, you can go ahead, and you need the panels.
I think it'll automatically.
Okay, I get it. I have a story that I need to say something about background. I had a car accident 5 months ago and was injured, and my girlfriend was also injured in that accident. And it's a very hard time for me to pass through. And sometimes I feel that I cannot control my emotion, that it caused some disasters or disorder in my life. But one thing happened. In one lecture I was attending, someone gave an example of phone ringing. So the guy asked, "What would you think? What's your emotional reaction when you hear the ring?" And some people may think when the phone rings, some people may feel anxiety or anxious. Some people maybe will feel angry. And however, if someone thinks the phone comes from a friend and they want to share some good news, they will be happy to get the phone. So at that time, I realized the different people have different attitudes towards the same thing. And if we analyze this, if we have a soul, which is the center of us, and we have our emotion, and the outside is the physical world. And at that time, I realized actually our emotional reactions is not be attached to the physical things that happened in our life, but it comes from our own experience and past emotional reactions. And I just found out if the emotional reaction does not depend on the thing itself, but on us, so it means it does not exist. It might have some confusion here. When it does not exist, it means it is not so so strong, or so it just gives you a feeling of it's nothing, but it exists because you believe in it. And I realized, so the emotion of power that would disorder my life is what I give the emotion. Actually, we can put it in this way: the power of emotion comes from that we believe in it. For example, if I feel angry because I believe I should be angry in this situation because some people say some bad words to me, I should do that. You give the power to the emotion, and that would cause some disaster or following bad reactions in our life. And if we does not focus, we do not give the power to emotion, we are not so attached to the initial emotional reactions, we can have the control of it, or maybe we can be the friend with the emotion. So once I realize that the power of emotion comes from ourselves, but not from the physical world, I can have a better position that I can observe it and try to analyze it. What's my current emotional status, and what's my initial reaction to it? And if I do that, would it bring good results or very bad results? So I can stand on a few seconds to calm down and realize it. Otherwise, I would be so straight to work on the emotion itself. So I just show the screen that we can get access to soul if we look backward into ourselves and try to be objective or believe or have some belief on ourselves that we are not so attached to the emotion that would control our behavior. And so I think the main point I want to say here is to look back into ourselves, and it's one way that we can practice. Once we practice more, we can be the master of it and maybe do it better. And another thing I would share is what my girlfriend told to me. She said she knows I'm not in a very good status for a long time after a car accident, and she said she wished it to me, and she explained how she wished. She said she tried to be grateful for the things and the people around her, and gradually they will be into a status that she cannot control herself, but have to cry. You have tears coming out, and this is not comes from fear, but comes from gratefulness and very positive attitudes towards the environment around her. And so at that time, the people she feel that she becomes a oneness with all the things or stuff, and everything is one, and she can at that time she can do her best to make the wish, and I think it's very 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 nice to do so, and in different religions we can know that in Muslim people usually have to need to pray 5 times one day, and to do the same thing, and also for Christian and Buddhism, and so this is another way we can practice to reach our souls. It's just calm down and to enhance our sense of our feelings. We can distinguish these two different ways. The first way I mentioned here is in my view, is trying to use logical thinking or a little bit of logic to analyze and stand in object point of view to look at the things, and to understand the nature of the emotion self, and so can reach deeper into the soul. And the second way, maybe in my view, is to feel, to have a very very deep feeling with positive attitudes, and the feel can also bring us to the center of the soul. So if we use scientific way to distinguish these two methods, so the first one comes from our left brain, and the second one comes from our right brain. But anyway, it's everyone has some specific ways to do so, and that's why in Buddhism there are thousands of methods the Buddha taught in the past time how to reach the souls. And so everyone has their specific way to balance their behavior and with their environment. And when everything is balanced, the soul will expand itself to appear, and so it will be there will be a direct way to get access to it. And that's all I want to share. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Caroline, are you there? Would you like to carry on?
Thank you very much, Joe. I hope you and your girlfriend are okay now. And it's beautiful how you come to share how you're dealing with the consequences of such a severe accident. A lot of knowledge seekers and a lot of council members have wished for you to recover. And you gave us the information back at the very beginning that it was amazing how fast you were recuperating, because usually such a healing process takes much longer.
Yes, it was very amazing at the beginning. So when the car accident happened, we get injury, especially for my girlfriend, very serious injury that at that time we don't think she can. We think she might stay in the hospital for maybe two months or longer, and we are very worried about her future. But she recovers very fast, and everything goes smooth. And after the car accident, I seek the support from Universal Council Group, and members' wish for our health, and we have some very strange experience, or I can feel some energy flowing through, but it's very hard to describe it right now, and the results are really nice that I cannot believe at the beginning. My girlfriend cuts really fast, very much beyond the doctor's expectations, and it's real nice. And thank you all for your support, for your soul and your heart.
I am present for you, Ayo.
I am present, Joe.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present, Joe.
I am present.
I am present, Joao.
I am present.
Thank you all, and maybe Caroline, you want to continue?
No problem.
I can, if we're done with that part, I can say that Shweta has come in from the live stream. She wanted to talk here, so I promoted her to a panelist. If it's time now, then maybe she can have something to say.
Okay, thank you.
I'll unmute you, Shweta, and you can talk. Hello? Is your microphone working? Hello, Shweta? I'm not hearing you, so maybe your microphone settings aren't correct in the Zoom. There's a little arrow beside the mute button, and you might have to check your audio settings to select the correct microphone. Okay, you can maybe fiddle with that in the background, and we'll get back to you if you can't speak right now.
Hello.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Rick. Hi.
Paul, I think you're gonna have to change line because
Like he's still on the first word.
we can't hear you, Paul. I think you better, if possible, change line because I don't have the computer system with me to support you through the telephone system. You can hear us, Paul? Try to reconnect through a different line maybe because we can't understand anything. Now he has left the meeting, so he will come back in through a different system. You will see him appearing, Rick.
Okay.
Anybody else wants to share something until we find the microphone button and the speaker button and the adjustment, because it's not easy sometimes.
And I'll remind the attendees here that they can put their hand up and I can promote you to a panelist or have you at least enabled in order to speak. So don't be shy.
No, we don't like shy people, do we, Rick?
Well, we still like them, but we prefer
but we
that
like them. We like them more when they're very busy, when they're very vibrating.
Well, the people actually that are shy might find that once they actually start speaking, they're not quite as shy as they thought they were.
Yes.
In fact,
and that's,
some of the shy people, it's hard to keep them quiet once they start, you know, it's just surprisingly. Some shy people can keep going for hours once you get them going, but it's that initial step is very, very difficult. It's a self-initiation and you have to kind of boot yourself to get going.
it's a start button we need.
Yes,
Paul,
exactly.
Paul is back.
Okay, thank you, Flint. And we have Rui as well with his hand up. Hello, Paul. Do you have a better connection?
Yes, can you? Yes. Yes, I changed the line.
Okay, well, go ahead if you can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you right
Okay,
now.
thank you.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Rick. Hi, Rick. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Mr. Kesh. Hi, everyone. I want to give you the state of the situation about Togo, actually. First of all, I want to thank everyone for giving the energy, everyone for connecting himself to the universal field to be able to give at this nation peace and stability for moments. We see our wish, we see a lot of I am present converted in peace, converted in a lot of things who have taken care and stabilized the situation for moments. We thank everybody for that, and we will again and again ask more to be able to go in the route of the crisis and then finish one time forever. And Togo is not the only one country in the world getting this. Oblige it by our wish, by supporting, by giving energy. We can also do this for those nations which is in need of peace, which is waiting for peace, which is inspiring for peace. So we have a lot of crises now, we have a lot of situation we need to carry. We're still working at the background with governments to be able to finish the real crisis. Now the peace is there, we go back to the normal. We have peace, economy take again up, everything is going normal, but we need now to go through the head of everyone to be able to stabilize everyone emotionally, psychologically, and physically. Our wish and our supporting is already to go to the people, to the people, we need to go directly to a lot of people to be able to let them understand what is peace, understand what is those persons for our nation as a resource which is there to be able to construct the nation. So we should not destroy any resource, because money is a resource, and we need to use this resource to be able to construct the nation. We need to put together all the resources to be able to construct the nation. So we need to unite all of them. We need to unite all of us, and we need to be able to cooperate and work hand in hand to be able to create more life for us, more life for the next generation. And it is very important, this step. And we are working in the backgrounds with the government. After, we will go through the conference for peace to make people understand the meaning of life, the meaning of cooperation, the meaning of getting those persons around us. Those persons, everyone needs to understand that those persons is not enemy, but as a resource we can also use to grow our life. And no one can be able to live alone in these planets. That's why this initiation of one planet, one race, one nation have to be taken very carefully, have to be present any moment in our heart, because by this we can go back to the origin. We can go back to our origin. So we need your support again. And we see a lot of miracles here. And I am going also to give one testimonial. During the Blueprint Peace, Mr. Keshe has given a lot of tools for peace. And I remember this day, Mr. Keshe was talking and get some call background, and then asking a lot of questions. And after he said, if next week we are not going through the peace, I will enforce peace. From there, he give a lot of tools. And I have beautiful testimonial for one of the tools we have used. We have put deuterium and tritium in different balls. And we have a lot of reactor. We let it on, running and spinning field. And our wish is to bring peace for our nation. We go through certain mountain in certain area of our country. You know, if you see in the mountain, there is what you call in French pants, where the air is going from higher to the lower. So the town is in the downside. We just put different reactor, not with the motor, but we make combination in the ball and put it in different tree. And we know that when the air pressure come, it took the field from the ball and then spray in all population living in this town, and we have seen how it works, how it brings peace for different areas. We have seen how these people cannot be manipulated to go in the road or burn. And myself, during this peace, even media cannot go through the people who was burning and killing and doing what they have done. But I carry on me three balls, two for deuterium, and then one for tritium. And I make connection between the ball, connection at the field level. And I could see. I walked through the people who was burning without be touched. I go through them and discuss with them without be touched. I walk around the army who was there to fight against these people who was burning, who was there to protect, and I cannot be touched. I go in any place because it was not possible to get a real information from media, because media cannot go through media cannot go through where the real freeze was there. But I have worked with one or two persons from the staff of a foundation, and we see how it is very amazing. And mistakers say, if you carry deuterium and tritium, any gain cannot be worked. And we have seen this, and this is a beautiful testimonial for those who want to involve themselves in the resolution of crisis. You need to protect yourself. And this tool is one of the most beautiful for you to be protected and for you to protect your environment, for you to be united with the field of the universe. And I have understood it when I cross where no one can pass. There was one place named Eben. This place, it was not possible to cross. It was not possible to go in the roads. And people have gained. People was burning, killing. But we have walked through them. And we stop and discuss with them without the shoot on us. And this is the most beautiful testimonial and experience we have gained through this tool of peace. Combination of deuterium and tritium stabilize all. And we, like I say, we have understand at the end that with this, really we transmit everything. With this, we are connected to the universal field. With this, we become universal field and we work as universal fields and no one can touch you. I guarantee this if you can believe in what you are doing. It is very important to be connected, to connect your soul, to connect your faith to the field of the universe. It is very important to understand that when you really involve yourself and you connect yourself to through the field of the universe, and you should not wish to harm anyone or create mayhem, you really become the peace lands. You really can offer peace to those persons. I remember when I was talking with 2 or 3 persons somewhere who was burning, I asked to them, why you are burning things like this? And they say, we have been paid to do that. And we also take drugs. I say, yourself, when you burn, you have children. Even if you don't have children, did you think that it is good for our nation, it is good for you, it is good for our community? And then they just stop one moment, and one said to another one, we need to stop burning. And this was amazing. And immediately they stopped burning, and they said to me, thank you to come to us. We are going now home. By protecting yourself, by covering yourself with a universal seal, with the seal of your soul, nothing can touch you if really you stand for peace. So thank you, everyone, and we're still working in the backgrounds to get the open line for mediation, for intermediaries, to really go to the population physically to explain them and then stabilize the peace in their mind forever. Thank you, and carry to bring and support every nation which become part of one planet, one race, one nation, as our mother planet Earth feels is united. We need to bring back everyone, every single person in this planet Earth to be united. Every single soul, from plants to and the rest of living entity in this planet Earth to be able to, in the process of unite, to be able to stabilize the field of planet Earth, and then to allow everyone to travel in this space. You know, we are already in one of a big spaceship, which is the planet Earth. Planet Earth is one of the spaceship model proposed by Mr. Keshe. When you see our planet Earth, it is spaceship. There is no motor, but our planet is turning and moving. So we are traveling second by second in the space. And you could see that we are not touched by anyone, because when the planet Earth rotating himself around himself, it creates vortex fields which protect all inhabitants in the planet Earth. We are protected by the rotation of the field from planet Earth, and we travel since the world was in the universe without being aware, without knowing. So our planet Earth, by uniting his field to the solar system, we moving second by second in the space. And you see that, I see, everyone can constate that we travel in this space. So we need to observe and then bring back this reality of traveling in the space. We are every second traveling in the space through the planet Earth, through our soul connected to the field of planet Earth, and then by the solar system. So please, real peace in the space. And the space is unlimited. Unlimited, that is why we travel without being touched. That is why we travel without being aware. We need now to learn from these planets. We need now to learn from these travel. We need now to learn from the rotation of planet Earth, spending the need to come back at this point to be able to generate the field around us and give peace to everyone, to every soul, to every entity in this planet Earth. And my wish is understanding for every living entity in this planet Earth. To this level of understanding, we should not go in this space without stone, without tree, without those entities, without insects, without animals, because all of them is the son and the daughter being born by planet Earth. And then we need to unite the field of our soul to this planet Earth. We need to understand that we are already on big spaceship, and then try to join this spaceship really in our soul, in our mind. My wish is my command. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you by putting in the account of every nation need for peace your soul, and your soul is the field gas we need to stabilize the peace, to bring the peace, to bring what we need together. To thank you and see you.
I am present in your wish, Paul. This is Gatwa from Kenya.
I'm present, Paul. It's Rui from Portugal.
I am present.
I am present, Paul, from Ursula.
I'm present.
I am present. This is Flint.
Thank you, Paul. I'm present.
Well said, Paul. I am present.
I am present, Paul. And we did hear from Rui there. Perhaps, Rui, would you like to carry the conversation now? You had your hand up.
Yeah, are you reading me well?
Yes, I think so. Go ahead and we'll see.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Rui from UC, a member for Portuguese language. I want to thank everyone that speak up now. Paul always surprised me. He really speak with his soul sometimes. It's nice. And thank you, Shahal. I come in because your speech about emotions and thoughts and feelings. I think I can say something about it from my experience. I deal with a lot of people every day in my work, and I deal with emotions and thoughts, and I'm a flight attendant, so there is a to fly, and sometimes I deal with that. And one thing that I say, the first thing, I try to give the knowledge to the person. It's that it's emotion. If you let it go with emotion, you can't control. So you have to understand the emotion. Before the emotion comes a thought of fear. And it's just a thought, it's not you. So I try to separate the person from the thought and from the emotion created. Because the emotion is more involve more your soul, and it stuck you there in the fear, and you can't think anymore. So I try to talk about this, the understanding of the fear before the flight starts, of course, because after it's difficult. So many people come to the plane and they say right away, I'm afraid to fly. So this talks usually works better on ground before the plane goes up and start to fly. So I always try to say to them that you are the person who experience the thoughts and the emotions. You are not there, that you are not your thought, you are not your emotion. So you can control. So you can control your thoughts and not have fear. You can have that power. And it works quite well. When I realize they are afraid already, we are flying, that is worst to make them understand because they are already in the emotion stage. So what I'm trying to work with emotion and try ask them why they are afraid to die, and if that catch their attention. I asked them if they believe in something, God, creation, and religion, and most of them say yes. So it's very simply, I would tell them, so that gives you the life, that creator. It didn't choose when it would be. So you don't choose when you're gonna die. So forget about it and let this in the hands of the creation. So liberate yourself from that, and sometimes works very nice. I make examples just to show how our mind can be manipulated. And I used to say, if the mind couldn't be manipulated, because it didn't work on us. So times our mind is manipulated by thoughts and by culture, hereditary culture and behavior, your society, your beliefs. So for you, sure, really, your soul, everyone, I think, needs to liberate it from this stuff, our hereditary, culture, and everything. and our preconcepts of the walls, the emotion, the fears, and everything. This is what gets us stuck and make us to be able to be manipulated, whatever, through the fear. So it's why I want to show people that you have the power and you can liberate yourself from this, from even yourself or your fears or everything, if you understand that your soul, it's the one that making experience of physicality, the thoughts and emotions, but he is not this. Is something else. It's just make so you when you liberate yourself from this kind of manipulations, things, thoughts, and emotions, and everything, you can show your soul to God and yourself. So the form of feeling of soul and you can do it every day. And I have this understanding very well, but I never give up. And I have moments, amazing moments that I really managed to. And since Mr. Keshe gave this knowledge to us, and these two last ones, 194 and 195, they are connection. So I want this knowledge that I understand by rational, but I already experience in my soul and in myself, so becomes knowledge of me and an understanding is part of me. My only difficulty is to keep it always like this, improving that. And with this explanation, by my understanding, I hope I help you to, some of you understand better how you can liberate yourself from the prison of that your soul is in, because sometimes it's what you feel, that you are in a prison and you can't express yourself through your soul because there's too many fears, too many emotions, too many thoughts. So you can do it. There's a way, and keep it on the track, and we'll do it. Thank you very much. That's what I want to say from now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rory. Okay, any comments or questions from others? We have a hand up here from Stefano. Let's Stefano speak. And hello, Stefano.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Hi, Rick. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Yeah, great. Fine, thanks. I escaped from work by 30 minutes or so, and I joined in. I was listening to this guy who was speaking, and what I wanted to add is that to me, every emotion is a decision you take within yourself. So once you understand deeply that you have the power over yourself to decide which emotion you can pick, then you are safe from everything that could happen in your environment, because you create your own cocoon to protect you. You literally choose to tune into a strength, into your own channel, let's say. So, for example, the problem to me is first to understand this point, that you can decide whatever you want over yourself, over your own state of being, over your emotion. And then understood that you absolutely need to understand what is each strength of each emotion. What is the emotion, what is the strength of peace, what is the strength of happiness, and so on. And this is very useful. And I can even, I guess, I can even make you a trial here if you want. Let's say if you try to imagine a situation in which you are at peace, okay? Now I give you like 10-15 seconds to recreate within yourself this peace emotion. Tell me when you have it, if you can.
Yes, it's easy to bring this emotion.
Okay. So now you have decided to have a peace within yourself. Okay, now decide to tune into happiness. Recreate it by connecting your thoughts to a situation in which you were really happy, or that let you felt happy.
Very easy, Stefano. Very easy. That I can bring it right away. Any one of them.
Okay. So now go back and forth between peace and happiness. Peace and happiness. And so you understand. You see the degree of the strength between one and the other. This was to me the easiest way to understand the difference between each emotion. You tune one by one each one. You pass each emotion you want to pick. You decide one by one how to feel it, okay? How to create it. And then time by time, step by step, you can go directly in without connecting with the thoughts to the imagine of the physical experience. Is a thing you learn to create inside yourself. You decide it like write a letter.
Yeah, it's very easy to do that, Stefan. What I try to explain, it's the environment where you are in, and I lead with 100 people, 200 people every day, connected with them. The environment influences you, and and then sometimes I can keep these feelings of peace, happiness in myself without not forcing. It's in me. I even because it's in me, I feel that I give to the others, and it's very funny to realize that.
Yeah.
But I can't do it every day. It's what I try to explain. It's not present in me every day, every moment, because this external influence of the environment, the others and the things, because I am operating, so I'm not in the state of meditation, you know. I'm connecting with the others. I need to do it because my job is operational. So, and by that, I cannot always to. I can, but I'm not managed yet to be always in the state I wish to.
You just need to build,
environment.
You have to build your emotional muscles. Let's say.
Yeah, probably. I'm quite okay with it. I just give the example for people understand. It's go up and downs. It's normal until you get it. And what I try to say, it's the downs are less than because I keep more time in the ups because the understanding of the knowledge helped me a lot. And I'm not a dumb person about this. I work a lot with me with this. Since I remember, I always have introversion thoughts about everything. So and everything you say, it's true. You are your master. You can. When you forget about yourself and you involve in the situation because you need sometimes lose that power.
Yeah, because
there is a way to keep it, I'm sure.
It's by understanding you have not to be passive to the environment. So you always have to remind yourself to be an active, how can I say it? An active entity in your environment, an active element. In a work situation, while you are doing everything, when you are doing shopping, when you are doing driving, while you are doing everything you do, you have just to remind yourself you have to not be passive but an active element. And so by remind you this, slowly you activate all your let's say emotional muscles, and you grow up from there.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to give space to the others to also.
Oh, sure.
To be humble in that, and you are just roll with the things, and sometimes you have to reposition yourself, and when you make that reposition, sometimes you lose the position before. It's what I explained. There is a lot of options. For instance, what I realized about what happens in Togo and the help that all of us made, we work more like one technique that advice ancient shamans use, we call someone Ho'oponopono. And if you think everything is good there, and it's easy because I didn't see any fights there and nothing that happened. So I force the things to be normal by my thoughts. Of course, it's a way to say, but I imagine that and the things happen. So, and I believe it works so well, not only me, but many of us wish that peace that we feel and we wish, and it does happen. I know so, and I believe the people and the planet are ready for that. We just have to think more about it. And it's I'm very glad to see the things happens that way. What I say, it's not always what we want or we wish. It works right away because there is other wish, and you have to reposition, and you sometimes in that reposition, you have to also interiorize yourself to the new position for work better. That's all.
Yeah, you said a very wise thing. accepting even things you don't like is a part of the game, which could even this be funny because it keeps you into reality and even this can let you grow. So it's good even this. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
For your kind words.
You. Thank you.
Okay, that's very interesting. Thanks for that contribution, Stefano. That helps clarify for people, I think. It's an important idea, this idea of voluntarily creating an emotion as opposed to being subject to our emotions according to our environment. Does anybody else have something they'd like to say about that? Or something else they'd like to say? Gatwa, see your microphone's open. Would you like to go ahead?
Yes, I was just going to. Yes, I was going to say hi, Rick, and hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Caroline, for your teachings, and Mr. Keshe. We have learned a lot. And one of the things that I would like to share is that what I've been doing is looking back also, as I also look forward. So when I test my, fields, I also look back and try to understand some of the mysteries of life, things that I considered mysterious. I mean, the things in life you wonder, how did that happen? And now I start to get very clear. Things are getting clear to me, what may have happened, what definitely happened. The fields that we created long ago for our wishes, which we did not realize at that time. But now, for those wishes that have been fulfilled, now we can understand them better. So this may be a good way of looking back in order to move forward. So if you understand the past, you can also be good at creating your future. Also, I've looked at traditional things that happened, and like rainmaking, how people would gather, a lot of them of particular ages with a lot of respect. They would offer sacrifice and call for rain in situations that had no likelihood. You wouldn't think the rain would come, but it surely came every time they did that. And I wondered what happened. But now, of course, they created the conditions for rain, and using their fields, they, as creators, they created the rain that they wanted. So now it's easier to understand the past mysteries of life, so to speak. And once this is what I'm using in order to learn more and to be confident, because self-confidence is very important. I am also making, creating situations that I would like to happen, wishes that I would want to see happen. And, it's very difficult to say they happened because you wished at when you are not so self-confident. So I'm building that up by looking back and by looking forward at the same time. Thank you very much. That's all I had to share.
Gatway, who is speaking. Can I say something about my understanding about feelings, special life feelings, plants that you work with?
Sure.
Okay, my understanding about as we know, the Creator gives life through unconditional love. It makes life happen, and all these energies or entities that make that life happens in the plant, special, it's your field. They work as a reactive to that love. So the life happens because they react to the love of the creation, and they work in that path, in that vibration, let's say. And so if you let them to work and give you love with your intent, the things happen. You manage to change and move the situation for what you wish, but you have to make to keep the love issue on it. It's not the ego part, like I want because I want, because they react to. It might happen also, but it comes out something not harmonic, let's say, not in the balance of the nature itself. So they are reactive entities, and they react to your emotions very well. And when you are in love, what you do, you're going to be amazing. It's what I believe. I have no experience, but my understanding is that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rui.
All righty. We have Ursula with her hand up. Perhaps she would like to have a word here.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm very glad to share you. I was listening about all the beautiful sharings we got today. And I would like to explain something I got with another teacher, you know, Aziz. He said often of the past, of what we are living, have been living, to extract the information. This was a knowledge in our life, a classroom. And sometimes when we feel sad or bad or something wrong, an accident, in time further, you can extract the information. Even in the past, when you was child, adolescent and young, and you remember things of your life, and some of them hurt. And now it's good to extract this information because it hurts not anymore. You can suffer about that, but if you extract the information from the past, this allows us to make peace. Also, when you got knowledge, as we are getting now, thanks to the foundation. And then you can go further. When you make peace, you love again, and you can go further. I wanted to share this experience. I got a mother, she was schizophrenic, and I was so glad to hear 3 months private teaching. It's very beautiful. It's 6 hours per day, and this time was the topic of schizophrenic. And I learned this, and now I could understand my mother. I could forgive her, and I could love her again. So it's very powerful when you got knowledge also. And I remember also in the past knowledge seekers teaching, Mr. Keshe say, stop crying and enjoy. This enjoy for me was really a big message, because we all have done things right. So what are you feeding? The sorrow or the happiness? When we see the beauty, we are happy and we take care of us. And when you look to the sunshine, you will never see the shadows. And then miracles arrive. They are coming so much when you open. When you don't have worries. Of course, sometimes we have stress and the common life, and okay, look at the sunshine. And I would like to remember also of the last 195 knowledge seekers workshop, Mr. Keshe explained us the soul of the man make it all. It's very powerful. Those creating workshop try to explain the soul. This is the most important. And much of us are feeling it now. It's very strong. We create the condition to grow now, thanks to the teachings and our being and our experience and all the extraction of information we got from the past. Our spaceship is first our ship of the soul of the man. You remember? It's very powerful. It's in the last part of this teaching. Try to understand the strength of your soul. Feel it. It's very easy. It's coming really easily now with our plasma, with our teaching, with our consciousness. And it's very powerful. And I am very grateful to have all this teaching. 2 years now. I started in October 2015, the first one, public one. And from there, I'm very, very happy to and feel better also, more in peace with myself. I'm finding my position, and I'm very, very happy. Even if we must trade actually so much conflicts in the world and suffering, but we must be strong first and go there, and very strong to help so much suffering in the world. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ursula. I see Tom Salos is here. Maybe he would like to say something today, as it's nice to have his presence here. Tom, would you like to open your mic and say something?
Hi, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all well. I'm just here at home, bending copper as I'm listening to you all speaking. So, yeah, sending you all love. And there you go.
Well, that's a big statement in itself, that first line you said, which is you're at home bending copper. What was that?
That's my little boy in the background.
I wondered what he said.
He's saying, "¿Qué es eso?" He's got his little taco in front of him.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm just here making plasma jewelry as I'm listening to you guys, and it's nice. It's putting a nice vibe on my works. Thanks.
Yeah, well, they're just suggesting that could be a great activity for people while they sit and listen to these teachings, or to these testimonials from people and that sort of thing. And
I always do that. It's a nice little meditation. It's a way of meditating as you're working.
Well, exactly, and you're putting that energy into the things that you're making at the same time. So it's kind of a symbiotic thing going on.
Yeah, exactly. And it was mentioned yesterday, that that kind of pure focus when you're creating your plasma and your whatever you might be producing, that pure intent just carries right through it. So I always try and hold that intent very, very pure. And having the little ones around helps too.
Well, yes, or maybe some pets. Pets can be useful in that kind of circumstance.
Yep.
So this is a big tip of the week here, actually, for people that are listening at home and maybe just sitting there not doing anything, or just not thinking of some way, how can they participate? Well, this is a way to participate. You could be bending wire, as you say, or engaging in some other, not too strenuous of activity, but something you could still focus on the words, but yet keep your hands busy at the same time. My hands are usually busy as a host, but bending copper is a good one. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, it's a meditation. It's a meditation.
Okay, any other, first of all, is there any other updates about the situation that you're entering into in Dominica and so on? Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about that? Or shall we hold back on that for now?
Well, I'm keeping a constant track on what's happening there, and it looks like communications are still going to be a big issue. I was reading this morning that you're more or less only able to buy, I don't know what you would call it, pay as you go kind of a thing with the internet. So you can pay to have a certain amount of megabytes on your device. But even that sounds like it's limited, and so I'm not 100% sure what the situation is going to be for reporting back, but yeah, I'll do my best. It doesn't sound great though. There's lots of people complaining, and the complaints have been that people are paying to put money on their phone, or relatives are paying to put money on their phone or their computer, and then there's no service available. So you're paying for it, and then there's nothing there. And then if by any chance you forget to click the off button once your time is up on the amount that you bought, you're charged for it. So you've got all these old dears who are trying to maneuver the technology to get in touch with their people wherever they might be, and they're getting taxed heavily. So it's not very good, and it doesn't sound very like a very good service that they're providing. But so I'm going to have to, on the ground, I'll get a better idea of what I can do to stay in touch with you all. But I'm sure there will be a way. It just might mean paying for it, I guess, which seems to be the way. After a disaster, you have to pay for everything, and who has money is okay, and who doesn't isn't. But, so I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you, Tom. And if there happens to be anybody out there that's owning a satellite communications company or something like that and would like to donate their services to the Keshe Foundation, now would be an appropriate time to engage and to provide those kinds of services.
Yeah, I think some of the people who are going in and doing aid work are buying satellite phones with a certain amount of minutes. It might be 400 or 500 minutes that comes with the phone, but the satellite phones are able to function out there independently. So that's a good way to go. Probably I'll be on a more basic connection than that, I would imagine.
Right. Yeah, I think we're working in the background somewhat on that situation. Speaking of background, there was quite a bit of background information there.
Screaming babies.
Yeah.
Tom, if I may say, I saw in the Relief Help chat group on Facebook that there is an issue for many from this disaster relief teams how to reach Wi-Fi. Meanwhile, there are some Wi-Fi, some open Wi-Fi's. One is on one of the vessels. And now the issue is how to get into that range. So that's why I posted in that chat group a link to a video created by a Russian team from Ukraine, Russian-speaking team from Ukraine, from the eastern part where they are troubled with cyber war since years. The group name is Creosan. They have several channels. They have one also in English language with all the videos translated. And they posted their tutorial how they solved this issue to get connection to the internet through distances of 2-4 kilometers. And
very good.
It's a simple antenna which, if you have a piece of wire, if you have a means to solder some pieces of wire, it's very easy to put it together. There are also other tutorials. You can even use, you can make a horn antenna from an empty box of Pringles or from a can. So there are possibilities for that.
Great, thank you, Sander. Yeah, the people have been posting lots of great information and bits and pieces of ways and techniques to get through various situations. A lot of water purification, great info is going out there. A lot of, like you said, things like that for the communications. So thanks to everybody for posting that stuff. It's very, very helpful.
It'd be really fun if you could bend some wire and make an antenna and nano-code it and prove that it's more effective than a normal antenna for receiving long distance Wi-Fi or long distance, communications, cell communications, and that kind of thing. That would be quite fun.
It must be.
There's a project for experimenters out there in the Keshe world, a better antenna, because we do know that the nano-coated surfaces have special qualities for reception, and perhaps in coding with certain ganses or certain configurations might work more effectively and end up being a great product for these kinds of situations. Just plug in your cell phone and receive much better communications. Possibly, I'm just putting that out as a possibility.
And if anyone does any experiments, let me know. I'll be happy to try it out on the ground.
Especially if it means bending up wire.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we have comments how we might be able to have Wi-Fi links from point to point and this kind of thing. So communications is the main point here, and that keeping up communications is so important. Now, of course, the new way of communications is through instant communications. We communicate through our soul-based feelings and whatnot for a different way of communicating. But we're still in this physicality. We still have ears and eyes and whatnot. And I think we still need to use our phones and other means of communication from time to time, or from minute to minute, depending. And so it's important to find ways using the technologies we already have existing, take advantage of them until the point where those are superseded with some of the more complete plasma type technologies. But technology can only get us so far. It's all comes back to our comes back to more like what Stefano was talking about, and creating our own positive emotions rather than responding. We are transmitting, you might say. So, okay.
By the way, just to mention, I got a nice message yesterday when I was chatting with you guys on a couple of days ago. We were mentioning the protection that you can get from using the plasma around your home and around the garden. And I received a message from my brother yesterday saying he'd had a text message from my mother, who had, we created a very nice tropical garden up there. She's high up in the mountains. And the message was that she had a visit. She hasn't been able to get out yet. So she has no real idea of the gravity of the situation. But got a visit from a friend who'd been around the island, and the friend was dumbstruck at the state of her garden, because she still had flowers in the garden. And it looks like all the works that we were doing in the garden with the plasma really, really gave that place a protective, I don't know what you would call it, a force field. And she was shocked that the state of the garden, it was still in a comparatively good nick compared to the decimation around the rest of the country. So that was a really nice message. I enjoyed getting that.
That's great. It's good news. I understand you've done a lot of work to create one of these structures that you mentioned in a previous workshop. And I think there's a PDF circulating around on the usual channels regarding how to make these types of structures, these dome structures, which are apparently very strong and great for hurricane type situations. I assume they would be good for earthquake as well. Is that true, Tom?
Yeah, they were more or less designed to deal with earthquake scenario. The guy who came up with the idea his name was Nadia Khalili, who is an architect. He's passed away in the last few years, an Iranian architect actually, and he was based in California, and he had an institute called Cal Earth, CALEARTH, Cal Earth, and he more or less put together the whole concept because he more or less knew what was coming, as some of us do. You know that we're getting to that time now where there are earth changes, and it was basically an institute that he set up to show folks how to make these things so that they will be safe if and when earthquakes happen. And his institute was beautiful. They make some. I mean, these guys mix up form and function. They're beautiful structures that are super strong. And I remember reading that they did some tests on they call it super adobe, on the super adobe structures, the domes. I think it was the Californian Earthquake Institute or something. One of these places that are able to create seismic activity and put those same stresses to the structures. And the machine broke before the structure did. So that's to give you an idea of what kind of levels of movement they can take. They're very, very, very strong structures. So as I was saying the other day, incorporate plasma in there also, and you've got a real good, safe environment to have you and your family. So thoroughly recommend anyone have a look at that if they're interested.
Okay, I posted the link to the PDF in the chat, and I'll put it in the live stream as well so people can get it there. And it's the Earth Bag Building, the Tools, Tricks, and Techniques. And it's quite interesting and amazingly beautiful structures as well. They have well, the word is earthiness to them, I guess, but
they're amazing.
Almost fairy tale like buildings. Hobbit.
Yeah, and you can get very creative when you're building them too. You know, you stick to the basic rules of thumb while you're building, but there's loads of scope for creativity also. The animals love it. The animals just, as soon as you start building this stuff, animals come around you and lounge around on the walls that you're building. You end up with big, thick walls that are like 1.5 feet thick. Mm-hmm. And if you just observe the animals in these structures, they go super chill, super zen. It's very nice.
And you could understand how such a structure, where you're building with primarily sand or, you know, that kind of material, how easy it would be to mix in the GANS materials or, you know, at least GANS water as part of the mix for the mortar and that kind of thing that you use. So lots of opportunities there.
It's totally primed, ready for working with, to blending it with the plasma work. It's really, really, really simple to apply plasma into these structures. And yeah, take a look. It's if anyone's into the idea of sustainability, also, that basically you're creating a home that's earth friendly and very, very perfectly insulated, they're thermic. So let's say if you're in a very hot climate, the walls soak up the heat of the day. So on the inside, you're nice and cool while the outside is red hot. And then as the sun goes down and you get the cold, your walls have retained that heat, and then you're sitting in a nice warm room when outside is freezing cold. So they're very thermic also. The ones that I built, I used a volcanic rock, a pumice, very lightweight pumice, with that very, very good insulative property as well. So you can play with all the natural materials that you've got at hand when you're doing this stuff. And yeah, thoroughly recommend any plasma engineers out there that want to have a look at it. It's a great, blending those two things, to me, you are creating a very, very, what I would call a high vibrational environment.
And once you get established in an area like Dominica or some other areas of the world that you might end up being, will you be educating crews like to do this kind of technology, to build these kind of places? Is that part of the work that you'll be doing in Dominica, is building buildings like this?
I'm available to talk to anyone who wants to talk about it, and I know it's going to be topical out there because, like I said the other day, I don't know whether this figure is correct, but I heard that there are 50,000 people displaced. So it's going to be a hot topic, and that's what happened last time I was there, and it was struck by a tropical storm which caused massive destruction. It became very relevant suddenly. There were a lot of people wanted to know about it, but in the end, everything boils down to money, and I didn't have the resources to be able to go around teaching for love as much as I want to. And when it comes down to doing these works in the communities, you need a little backup, you need some resources. And at that point, it was the government we had to look to, and we didn't get what we needed. So it ended up sort of fizzling out, but I know it'll be hot topic again when I go back there. So yeah, I'll be happy to talk to people. I mean, I'll most likely do what I've just done here and put this document out there and make it available for them. And then anyone who is interested then can come and ask for a bit more detail if they want to know. But yeah, it's like I said the other day, it's still like screaming at a wall. People are not ready for living differently yet. Well, some are, but a lot are not.
Right. There's rules and regulations in many areas about how to build and so on, and it's probably difficult to get the engineering specs on this kind of building in order to have it to be passed and so on.
Yeah, I know it's been done in the States. There are a lot of these structures in the States, and I think according to which state you're in, they're more open to it, but there are ways to get around it too. You can blend this style of building also into more conventional types of building also. So you can build post and beam and then use the super adobe in between. Some people have done this to try and make sure that they meet the building codes and all that. Personally, I just go to countries where they welcome this kind of thing. I don't waste my time in the first world anymore. The first world is the fourth world as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes what this first world and second and third and so on. I get totally confused with that because I think things are backwards compared to the normal descriptions.
Yeah, exactly. Usually what the label is, just flip it, reverse it, and you'll be somewhere closer.
That's the irony of living in this world, and especially on this planet.
Yeah, back to front and upside down. Yes. So yeah, I'm hoping to be traveling in about a week's time. So if all being well, I'll let you guys know when I set off, and I'll try and contact you all when I get on the ground and do some regular updates. I know Carolina had mentioned that Carrie might be coming out with me. Carrie has contacted me and said that she's not going to be able to make it. She's got some commitments there where she's at the moment. So what I'm going to try and do is to do a little reportage on the ground and send her back the little videos, and she can edit them in and what have you, and we'll see if we can put together a little some of the realities of what it's like to be on the ground down there and what we can do with the plasma to try and help out. And I'll be looking at some of the ways that we can gather together the materials we need and stuff, and I'll put together some little videos so that folks can access that if it will help.
Oh, definitely would help. And I think it'd be nice to find some way to help you with the communications end as well. So
that would be great. I think, yeah, it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be frustrating on the ground not being able to communicate. And I know also even just putting charge in my computer and whatever is going to be a challenge, you know, just keeping it charged up. So the reality of that I will only know when I'm on the ground, but we'll be searching. But yeah, for sure, in the future, it would be great if we're sending teams out often around the world, if they can at least have a simple satellite phone or something like that we can get basic communications with.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And before I sign off, a little message if Dr. Klaus is listening. I have sent through, I was asked to add an addition to the first aid document concerning where we might be able to gather materials and bits and pieces that we need to produce plasma if we're not able to buy it in the stores. So I've sent him through that document. So if he checks his messages in Facebook, that is. If he's listening.
Okay, thank you for that secret message for Klaus, and I'm sure he'll decode it. And, no, that's great.
Thank you, Tom. I created it.
All right.
Okay, there he is.
Right on it.
Okay, wonderful. So let me know if you need any adjustments making on that, Dr. Klaus, and I'll be happy to do so.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Okay, I'm going to sign off. Thanks, guys. Much love.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Bye for now.
And Klaus, is there anything you want to say about that document? Will it be available soon for the public, or is this something that's private documents, or is it on the Wikipedia, or how's that going to end up?
No, it's not a private document. You know, we're talking about this plasmatic first aid sheet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we were just looking for a document which is not too long and where there's compressed information on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our last update was, I guess, a year ago, so it needs to be updated a bit. And this is why I asked Tom to add his experience. And I also asked 2 or 3 other people to add their experience, have a look at it, what could be added. And then we make a two-sided document out of it, that it still can be printed at 1 page, front and back.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
It's written on Open Office Draw, which means this is an open source software. Everybody can translate it then into her or his language as the last version. We're cruising then around. So it's a document where you can quickly see how to nanocode, how to make ANSYS, and if anybody of you sees or wants something to be added to this document, please contact me or Rick or whoever from the management team or Tom, and we edit then. It was just a document we had. So if you have other documents which have summaries of how to apply plasma very quickly, specifically for people who never have been in touch with plasma, just send it, because we need it now. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Thanks for that update on that. And I see Flint saying in the background he'll come up with some information about satellite phones and so on. We'll continue researching and coming up with the correct solution for that. And again, I encourage, if there's a donor out there who would like to donate a cell phone system and unconditionally allowed to be used by the Keshe Foundation teams, that would be fantastic. Okay, is there anybody else who would like to say something? I don't see any hands up, but perhaps there's someone ready to speak in the panelists.
Hi, Rick. May I add something? It's Pete, Universal Council Polish representative, Polish language. So I just wanted to add one thing, because we kind of talked right now about physical arrangements and sort of physical processing, not to forget the soul aspect of the things that we can help over a large distance. And I just wanted to throw one nice example that I experienced sort of a week ago. So I have a little girl, and obviously, you know, she goes for a nap during the day, and I put her to bed, and as soon as she sort of fell asleep, and I was sleeping next to her, really trying to fall asleep, dogs started barking outside, right? One dog started barking, right? So I thought, okay, this is a little test for me. Let's see if I can ask politely, or, you know, interact with the dog from the soul level, to see if I can, you know, just ask him to be a little bit more quiet. So as I said, the little one just fell asleep. So I tried to do that, and I said, can you please, well, I kind of communicated with the dog and asked, can you be a little bit more quiet, so that, you know, so that I can have sleep. And the barking didn't stop, right? So next test, I thought, maybe I should somehow connect my daughter's needs with the dog, and, you know, just make a connection between the two of them. And so the second attempt I tried, I kind of communicated with the dog, but I said, well, I didn't say, but my intention was that, you know, the child needs to sleep, and it's not my need, which I don't really need, because, you know, adults don't have to sleep as long as kids have to. So the fact that I was lying in bed next to my daughter, I was just, you know, trying to top up the sleep rather than that I really needed the sleep. So my initial request, asking if the dog can be a bit more quiet because I want to sleep, didn't work at all. But when I kind of connected, you know, my daughter fields with the dog fields, it happened instantly. It was a split of a second. The dog stopped barking, right? So a minute later, I hear another dog barking, which made the other dog angry as well. So there were two dogs barking. And I thought, okay, this is the ultimate test now, because I figured out one way how to make it work, and maybe it was a coincidence, right? So I tried again, and I immediately connected my daughter with the two dogs, with the intention that, you know, if they could go a little bit more quiet, because she needs to sleep, she needs her nap. And literally split of a second, and both dogs stopped barking, you know. And these dogs, I know them very well. When they go on, they never stop, right? So this kind of links to the Thursday teaching, to yesterday teaching, when, you know, Mr. Keshe said, you know, with the palm of your hand you can create water. You can create water for the thirsty one, for somebody who needs this water, you know. So you don't create it to show off. You don't do it for any other reasons, but to give unconditionally to those who need it at the point of need. And I could perhaps somehow relate this, what Mr. Keshe said, to this situation, to this little experience where, you know, I tried one approach, didn't work, because it was kind of my selfish point of view that, you know, I'd like to have a nap even though I don't need it. But as soon as you know, I connected the two entities, my daughter and the dog, and there was a real need for my, you know, for her to sleep, it happened instantly, you know. So just to sort of, from practical side of things, just to throw this in, so that we don't forget about, you know, we are the creators. We can create, but it has to be for all the good reasons, you know. It has to be not for us, not because we are greedy, not because we want to sleep longer than we really have to for our body to regenerate. It's, you know, it's for those who need. When we connect people with needs with each other, then it somehow magically works, you know. I use the word magically, but we know it's not magic, it's science. So just a little practical experience, really, you know, things that I started exploring, practicing around, if I can actually affect the environment if I can communicate with other entities, with other animals and people without the physicality, really. And I can see it works. I mean, it worked twice in a row, so it's not a coincidence. And to be honest, a couple of days later, I had the same situation. And I went to bed, I put my little one to bed, and the dog started barking instantly. I did the same thing, and this dog stopped. It didn't even bark 3 times. So I really think it works, and it's worth exploring for every single each of us to, just stop, because we run all our life. We run after money, we run after shelter, we run after all the various things that we've been conditioned to sort of to fit into the society and follow the rules and just chase and chase and chase constantly. But take a deep breath, sit down, and just consider, just think about things that we are being taught every week, and start applying these in your everyday life, and just try observe the sort of the cause and effect and all these things, and just start making connections, like Mr. Keshe said yesterday, with ganses and reactors and so on. We don't stick to physicality, just try to understand how things work, try to understand how fields interact, try to understand how you create the field flow. And in my understanding, what I did, I just created the field flow between my daughter and these dogs. So that's all I wanted to share, just to sort of encourage people to experiment, and also in the context of these disasters, not to forget to support people in need from our soul, because we can really communicate at this level, and we can give whatever we don't need, and those people who are in need. So please do so, and try it for yourself. It really works. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Another testimonial of the power of our soul, I think, is one way to put it.
Hi, Peter. This is Chao, and I have one question for you. When you make the wish to ask the dog to be more quiet, and you get a confirmation from their stopping of barking, and I wonder whether you get other confirmations. I remember in one workshop very earlier, Ms. Keshe said when he drove, and there was a car for a funeral, and there was a coffin on that car, and he made a wish for the soul for that man, but he feels it's not right, and he told Caroline the coffin is empty, and it turns out it's empty, and I remember Ms. Keshe said, so when you make the wish, you will get the confirmation in your heart, in your soul, and you can feel it. And I wonder whether you have that feeling or not.
To be honest, it's a little bit hard to reflect on this, because conducting the experiment, I was interested in observing the direct effect of my actions. So it didn't work. I changed the approach. I tried a different approach, and then it worked. But I don't know, perhaps the feedback was another dog coming in and disturbing the setup. So I don't know. I mean, I was half asleep as well. So my recorder, I haven't recorded everything objectively, really. It was just initially, it was just a selfish wish, and the second time it was more sort of connecting, creating a flow between the two of them, so they could sort of understand each other.
Okay, very good. Any more input on that topic or questions from anyone? We'd like to go back a little bit. And Shweta had a comment. She wasn't able to get her microphone working this time around, but she wanted to tell my goddess, dear Carolina, that the KF SSI has transformed me like from a cocoon into a beautiful butterfly. And all the ego's wounds from the past are healing so quickly. And all the doors of love have opened with welcoming and open arms. Fear is going away like the rust of iron cleaning up. Much, much love, she says. So that was some nice input.
Thank you, Rick.
You are there. I thought that might get your attention.
No, I've been all the time here.
Yes.
I've been present all the way. I just got kicked out once, nearly, but it's fine. It's nice to see people coming forward and sharing and showing, to be proud of what they have achieved. Sorry. If there are more people that want to come forward to share, or we keep it a short meeting, because this was a very nice overview of what has happened in the last week. What do you think, Rick?
Sure, I think so. Unless there's any other pressing business, then perhaps close for today. Let me see. There's Theodore has his hand up. We can allow him to talk.
Yeah, of course, because I'm just mentioning because we are 2 hours in the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And we usually don't keep these meetings too extreme long, but everybody has a chance to speak. So when you feel the time is right, Rick, and there's no more who wants to share, we can say goodnight to each other.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you for the guidance, Caroline, as always.
You're welcome.
All right. Ted, would you like to? I'm not sure if you can yet. Yes, I think you have talking permitted. Would you like to go ahead? Hello, Ted. I'll try to unmute you. Maybe that's required here. Go ahead.
Yes, hello. I didn't have my headset on. How are you? Can you listen to me?
Is that Ted? No, who's that?
John, yeah, John.
Oh, that's
John Well.
Okay. Hi, John. Yes, of course.
Or was it John from Arizona?
Oh, I was asking for Ted, but I couldn't get him to unmute, and I couldn't unmute him. So you're completely welcome to go ahead. So you're coming through loud and clear.
I'm just wishing we all get through with all our wishes, and let's all make a big wish that all this comes to fruition and we can help everybody out. There's not much else I can say. I'm away from all the noise in Central America, so but I keep up with all the news and well, whatever crops up in my mind of what can help, as I gave several ideas yesterday that helps everybody out with whatever situation they find. I think that's the best thing one can do. If one is in a situation, you got to look around and see what you can scavenge in the rubbish you got there and put everything to use. That's about the most practical thing you can do when you're in the boondocks. So thank you, and well, I'm present with all your wishes.
Great, thank you, John. Okay, who else would like to speak? We have, just trying to see here. I see Theodore, you're having some microphone in and out things. Hello?
Rick, I reset my phone and everything, man. I think I'm online. Can you hear me?
Well, we hear you clearly. Yes, very good.
Great, Rick. I just, of course, want to jump in on the piece day, as I usually like to do, to just share my my just excitedness about everything working out the way it is. I've seen so much go down here in the United States on the front of the children being protected that it's almost uncanny. I'm almost worried about the stabilization of what's going on with our just general day-to-day life, because it seems so many people are coming out that know about the pedophilia and are talking about it, and our kids here in America are really standing a chance. I'm actually feeling like today that less people are being abused than it was maybe a year ago because of what we put out there and our thoughts and intentions. And I'm just really proud of us on that. I really, really am, because I know it's a tough subject and not.
Hello, Ted? You dropped out there. I see you're back again, but your microphone's muted.
Sorry about that, brother. I'll make it short.
Just lost the last time. I totally agree with you, Ted. Just let me interject briefly. And I was going to mention something about that whole topic, but now that you brought it up, yes, go ahead.
Well, you take your time, brother. I'm here on the line. Go ahead.
Well, I'm with you on this, because this is it's not just a U.S. phenomenon, of course. It's all over the world, but especially if you look at North America, the US and Canada thing, and you look at what's happening with entities in Hollywood and right through the whole film industry, corporations, many corporate heads now, heads are rolling, you could say. The heads of corporations they're being nailed for these previous abuses, and they are going down because the reputation of their own companies are at stake. So the company has to kick them out in order to keep their reputation. And this is the irony of the situation now. And it's a different attitude has come in the last year or so, like you say. And as part of this, what we have in Canada is the reconciliation with the Aboriginals and trying to resolve that. And we have the missing women inquiry in Canada for the women, especially Aboriginal women that have gone missing, literally thousands of them over a period of time. And all these kinds of things seem to be coming out now. And the people that were in powers of position that thought they could get away with their previous abuses, especially with women and children, are no longer getting away with it. And it's all becoming exposed and publicized because we have this new attitude of sort of a clarity, a certain honesty that's coming out. And it's been shown through our Prime Minister, Trudeau, who gave a speech in the United Nations that I've mentioned before, where he just, was talking about the previous abuses of the Aboriginals, especially in our country, in Canada, and what a shame that was, and that the government was responsible and took, part responsibility for all that and so on. And he was quite emotional during that whole thing and subsequent ceremonies and so on. And we've just had one of our top sort of rock stars in Canada, Gordon Downey, pass away from a brain tumor. And that left a big impression on people because he was totally behind this Aboriginal reconciliation movement. And in his last concert, he named Prime Minister Trudeau, Justin Trudeau, to lead this movement and make sure that this goes through and so on. And he hit him in the heart, and Trudeau has taken it to heart and made this as part of his program. So yeah, it's amazing times we live in. And if you want to carry on about that, Ted, for just a minute or so, that might be appropriate here.
I mean, there's an essence of man that utilized this kind of free energy, if you will, to elevate themselves. Then they utilized it to keep a brotherhood together. And now it's the kind of thing that's enough to tear it all apart. So what they were using, I see the real irony behind it. The idea of let's become more powerful, let's do this, whatever, for so many different reasons. And the irony is it's what's the thread that pulls apart, the cloth that holds the veil over the eyes of the man. And so for me, that's really awesome. And I'm glad it's awesome for you too. And I know it's awesome for a lot of our friends. Another thing that's really totally spectacular to me is the relief effort that I've been witnessing going on. I really just want to add to how proud I am of everybody and how it really has let me see just how productive people can be, like just witnessing what people are speaking on and what's going on in some of these message boards and these groups on the Facebook and whatnot. And it's really given me something to aspire to and something to grow towards, and really understand that, I mean, wow, like some people are in some positions to really do some beautiful things for people, and we all are. And it's amazing where people come up with the resources and come up with just the thought processes and the abilities to do these things. And like I'm seeing about people loading up their yachts and whatever and driving them down to these islands. It's like that's the kind of thing that I guess in my mind I'd always wished to happen on Earth, and it is what's happening on Earth. And I know sometimes we get a little negative maybe about the events that forecome or whatever comes in as like maybe like a check, checks and balances or whatever, but it is what brings us together also. So it's like such a double-edged sword. Everything is the beauty that lies within the challenges of the man is, and even living in these times where such spontaneous things are happening with a high technology level around, and then we're learning about technology together. And it just gives me a lot to look forward to. And it gives me a lot to prepare for and things too at the same time, which is nice because I think really the idea of preparing in the physicality so much, like, oh, I need this much food stacked up, or I need this stacked up, or I have to have this. It's like, well, and in the subconscious, that that's not really what's there. It's like your skills, your ability to love, to remain calm in disaster scenarios, and just to be able to use your intentions. So I'm really looking forward to advancing my ability to use my intentions. I'm also looking forward to advancing the abilities that I think all human beings have, and basically in the manipulation of matter with thought through the magnetical gravitational interactions of matter with thought. And so I know that is the purpose, like that in my mind is the training that I need to learn on how to do to be like of service to my area during any time that I need to be of service. So just wanted to add that in there to you all, and also say that I love you all and thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it so much. Good day.
Well, thank you very much, and I am present for that wish.
I'm always present with you too, Rick, and your wishes too. I love you, brother. Peace.
Well, you brought up some interesting points there for sure, and we are living in some very rapidly changing times, and it's very exciting. We're so fortunate to be alive in these times. In spite of these disasters happening and turmoil over the planet, there's also this upswelling movement of those that wish to be of service, those that are willing to put themselves out to help others instead of just helping themselves to help themselves. And that's the big difference. And that's kind of the the feeling that's behind many of these movements, I think. I mean, a lot of the this thing that Ted talked about, and about the pedophiles and abusers and so on, sort of being turned in, or inevitably turning themselves in, is because of this movement where women have come together and said to themselves, you know, we are strong in our essence, and we are not going to take, you know, any abuse anymore. And it's true of the Aboriginals as a group. They've come together and said, we are strong, and we are here as a, you know, a force, a soul force. It's not about the physicality. It's not about how many weapons you have, or, you know, how many guns or bullets, or you know, how much money that you've got. It's about how much heart you have. And if you have the heart in this modern world, that's where you're going to go places. That'll be the money of the future, not the you know, coin of the realm currency or gold or any other hard substance. We're moving more and more toward that place where love is essentially the currency. So that's my opinion anyways. Okay, I wonder if we should wrap things up here. Any last minute comments from anyone?
Yes, last minute comment. I'm present in the gentleman's wish. Thank you.
Thank you, Gatwa.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, team. Thank you, knowledge seekers. It was a beautiful presentation. See you next time.
We'll have a wonderful weekend.
To all of you too. Enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the rest, and enjoy the soul working.
Thank you very much, Caroline.
Yes, thank you, Caroline. Keyword, enjoy.
Back to listen to Mr. Cash.
When is next time?
That will be decided next Tuesday.
Tomorrow?
No, next week.
So Tuesday.
Not too fast. Listen, Jalal, our team needs some time off, and they also need a sleep and a rest and a walk and some time with their family.
We are hungry for this knowledge, my God.
I know.
I'll just play back one of the last 195 knowledge seekers workshops, and that should keep you busy for a while.
I am, Rick. I am in it.
Thank you, team. Thank you, Flint. Thank you, Vince. Thank everybody. See you next time.
And we will be here on Tuesday. What is it, at 4 o'clock, I believe it is.
And be very careful. The time changes on Sunday.
That's right. And it changes only for the essential European people, not for the North American people. So we have a confusing week where things are kind of mixed up. So we have to pay attention to the times.
Yeah,
we have 1 hour longer to sleep. Thanks God.
That means the sessions join an hour earlier for the North American people.
Right. Thank you.
And don't forget Monday.
No, it's not an hour earlier.
Monday morning's class.
Flint, are you making a mistake, darling? It's 1 hour later.
No, you guys fall back an hour.
That
means we have to join an hour earlier. So it's only, for me, it'd be only like a 5 hour.
1 hour. Because the sound, it's.
No.
Oh no.
No.
Well, the difference in time, like for me, for example, it's usually 9-hour difference from Italian or European time to my time, Pacific Coast. But for 1 week, it'll be an 8-hour difference.
Yeah, so we have to join an hour earlier.
So I have to realize that and make
Yeah.
sure I join earlier. Yes.
Yeah. Sleep 1 hour longer.
You guys can.
You guys can.
Yeah,
But for
that's
us
exactly what I was thinking.
But for us in North America, it's Sunday the 5th that we fall back an hour, and then we'll have the normal time differences.
Back.
Yeah, for us, we have 1 hour extra to sleep. Yeah. You're not gonna snoop that 1 hour of extra rest off me. Not this time.
Yeah, you guys get 1 hour extra, and we get 1 hour less.
Oh.
Being human.
Now I understand.
Hemisphere.
Time to give from America.
I don't know. Being human is just totally confusing to me. All these rules and regulations. It's crazy. You out in space, are you arguing about what time it is?
And time doesn't exist.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's like I just there's a video out that just came out about the Pope watching the astronauts in space live in real time and talking to them while they're out in the space station, the International Space Station, and they had a 20-minute discussion apparently. And it was quite interesting to see the interaction and to understand, like the Pope greeted them much in the way that Mr. Keshe greets us for the Knowledge Seekers workshops, and saying that hello to you, good morning or good afternoon. It's we don't know what it is in space because there is no time like that there, and so on. He's actually kind of joking about that. So it was interesting.
Yeah, in 20 minutes they can see the sunrise on one side of the earth and sunset on the other. That's how fast they're going.
Yeah, so you could say good morning or good afternoon, and you're right either way.
Yep. And don't forget, everyone here can join in on the Understanding Plasma Science series Monday morning.
It's a good point. Thanks, Flint. What time is that again?
That'd be 10 a.m. Central European time.
And by that time we'll be
on this. 10 a.m.
The weird.
Yeah, we'll be on the different time. So you always can go to worldtimebuddy.com and figure out the time change.
Okay, that's a good hint too. Okay,
and it'll be on the same public number.
Right, and we'll have postings on that too. So at the usual places in Facebook and Skype and whatnot. Okay, let's wrap things up for today. It's been the 14th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for Friday, October 27th, 2017. As always, thank you everybody for attending. And as always, I think Flint will take us out with some musical overtones here. Go ahead, Flint.